If you're thinking about spending your retirement years here in the Roanoke Valley, you've probably already seen pictures of the Blue Ridge Mountains and heard how affordable it is compared to where you live now. But the thing is,
What the brochures don't tell you is that retiring here comes with a very specific set of trade-offs. And if you're coming from a high-cost tax state like New York or California, or even trying to escape the heat in Florida, making the wrong assumption about how things work here can cost you tens of thousands of dollars in your first year alone.
yikes. So exactly, today we're going to give you the honest truth. We're going to break down the 10 things you absolutely must know before you pack your bags and move your retirement to Roanoke, Virginia. And be sure to stick around because the last thing we're going to talk about is one assumption almost every out-of-state buyer gets wrong about our housing market. So let's get to it.
Hey, real quick, it's Hal and Chris. If you're interested in buying or selling in Roanoke, make sure you reach out to us with the contact information on the screen.
And be sure to take the neighborhood quiz that's in the description below to find out what part of Roanoke will be best for you. When we talk to folks relocating from like those major metro areas, Hal, it's like Dallas, Long Island, their first question is always about healthcare. And it makes sense. I mean, you're leaving doctors that you've established a relationship with. You've known them for decades. The reality here is actually one of our biggest hidden advantages. We're not just a mountain town, we're a medical hub for all of Southwest Virginia. Carilion Clinic is massive. It's a level 1 trauma center. But let me just back up for a minute. It kind of operates differently than what you might be used to.
That's right. We had a client recently, Jim from South Florida, who was worried he'd have to drive to Richmond or Charlotte for his specialist.
Yeah.
But because of the Virginia Tech Carilion School of Medicine, we have a level of specialized care. We've got cardiology, oncology, orthopedics that you normally only find in cities 3 times our size.
That's amazing. But here's a trade-off you need to be prepared for. Because we serve such a large region, getting established as a new patient with a primary care doctor can take some time. You can't just move here on the Tuesday and expect a physical on Thursday. You have to start making those calls way before your closing date.
Yeah, one of our clients, Matt, just told me that like in Florida, he could actually go see a specialist of any kind. He didn't have to have a referral from a primary care physician. So here you got to get established with that primary care physician before you can actually get a referral over to the specialist. So you're going to want to plan ahead and make sure that starts happening before you ever get to closing date, like Chris said. And speaking of planning ahead, wait until you see how the state of Virginia looks at your retirement income. It's a huge factor, and we'll cover it in just a minute.
I like that you plan ahead.
Yeah, always be prepared, right? Isn't that a motto of some sort?
Yeah.
So let's talk about the money. If you're coming from New Jersey or Texas, our property taxes are going to look like a typo to you. They are significantly lower, but there is a massive catch that catches people off guard.
Yeah, that's the city versus the county line.
It's a song like that, isn't there?
Yeah, I think so.
Yes, exactly. In Virginia, cities and counties are completely separate entities. They don't overlap. So if you buy a house inside Roanoke city limits, your property tax rate is $1.22 per $100 of assessed value. But if you buy a house just 2 streets over in Roanoke County, the rate drops to $1.03 per $100 of assessed value, or even better, you got to Botetourt County where it's 70 cents per $100 of assessed value.
That's incredible. We see this all the time. A couple is going to find a gorgeous historic home in South Roanoke, which is in Roanoke City, and assume that the taxes would be the same as that newer build that they looked at in Cave Spring, which is in the county. It's a completely different math equation for your fixed income. I mean, you'd have to know exactly where that line is to draw. But I want to just mention taxes are just one part of the budget. Check out our full deep dive video about taxes. That will help a lot. And what actually surprises most of our clients from places like California isn't the tax rate. It's what happens when they go to the grocery store. It's easy to look at housing prices and think everything here is half off.
Mhm.
And while housing is incredibly affordable compared to the national average, your daily living expenses like groceries, gas, utilities are much closer to the national average. I remember when we visited DC and we were shocked that, when we went to the grocery store and when we went to the restaurant, we were like, wow, this isn't as expensive as we thought. And then I was like, wait a minute, maybe Roanoke is a little more pricey than I realized. So it was a funny, shocking value, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. And another example of that is Well, we had a client from Utah that saw that a gallon of milk or a tank of gas wasn't drastically cheaper here. The savings in Roanoke are almost entirely in your housing costs and your property taxes. Your utility bills, especially if you buy an older home that isn't energy efficient, might actually be higher than what you're paying now if you're coming from a temperate climate.
Yeah, and that's why we always tell our retirement buyers, don't stretch your housing budget to the absolute max just because you can afford more house here. You want to leave room for the lifestyle you actually moved here to enjoy. And just some of those popular activities with our retirees or about to retire is hiking, pickleball, huge pickleball fans here, concert and theater going, and then you've got like house projects. I think people love tinkering, you know?
They do. They want to stay active on that front, and they'll do gardening. And then also book clubs as well, right?
That's what I do. I'm not close to retirement yet, though, right?
No, you're not. But you host the book club so that our clients can see each other and enjoy it. And speaking of lifestyle, if you're planning on having the grandkids visit, you need to understand how our airport actually works before you buy here in the Roanoke Valley. One of the biggest factors for our 55 plus clients is how easy it is for family to visit, or even better, for you to fly out to see the grandkids. Roanoke-Blacksburg Regional Airport is incredibly convenient. You can park and be at your gate in 15 minutes, but do not be like our friend Mike, who showed up too close to departure time, couldn't check their bags, and they had to reschedule for the next day because you got a timeline, you got to get there early. Don't be lollygagging.
That's right. But one thing to note, it is a regional airport. We have direct flights to major hubs like Atlanta, Charlotte, Chicago, and New York. But if your family lives in like Pacific Northwest or the deep Southwest, they're going to have a layover.
And the flights can be pricey if you don't book in advance. A lot of our clients will actually drive 2 hours down to Greensboro, North Carolina, or they'll go up to Washington, D.C. for cheaper direct flights. It's not a deal breaker, but it's a logistic shift you need to plan for if frequent flying is part of your retirement dream.
Now, don't you forget about Amtrak.
That's right. Dining car, best breakfast according to our youngest daughter.
I love Amtrak. It's a good option. And if you didn't know, Roanoke is within a day's drive to 2/3 of the U.S. population. So geographically, it's super convenient. So we've covered logistics, but what about the actual day-to-day vibe? Because the pace of life here is a massive adjustment for a lot of people. If you've spent the last 30 years in a major metro area, constantly fighting traffic and rushing from point A to point B, the pace of Roanoke is going to feel like you're hitting a brick wall. But I mean that in the best possible way.
And it takes some getting used to. You know, we had a couple move here from Northern Virginia, and for the first 3 months, they were constantly frustrated that things just moved slower. Contractors take a little longer to call you back. The cashier at the grocery store wants to chat with you. The driver in front of you is actually going the speed limit, and that is driving me bananas right now, even after 14 years of living here.
But you have to actively choose to change your pace. And if you bring that big city urgency here, you're just going to be miserable, I think. But if you embrace the fact that it takes about 15 minutes to get anywhere in the valley and that people actually wave to you when you drive by, you'll find peace.
And part of that peace actually comes from the weather. But if you're moving from Florida or Texas, you need to know what our 4 seasons actually look like.
That's true.
We get a lot of folks from Florida who are just exhausted by the year-round oppressive heat. They want seasons again, and Roanoke delivers that perfectly. We have a true distinct spring and a stunning fall.
Yeah, the leaves are just hard to beat. It's just gorgeous. But here's a reality check on our winters. Many people hear mountains and they picture us snowed in for months. The good news is we actually get very mild winters. We might get 1 or 2, you would say, decent snowfalls a year, but it usually melts within a day or 2, or we get.
And if you're looking for a winter wonderland where you can cross-country ski from your back porch, this is not it. But if you want to experience the changing leaves without having to shovel your driveway every single week, it's going to be the perfect balance.
Yeah, and speaking of spring and fall, I want to touch on those. It brings beautiful weather and also rain. The temperature, too, is really unpredictable. I mean, yesterday, it's the spring. Yesterday, it was 85. Today, it's windy and 55. Now, summer is hot. The humidity comes late July, August, and it can be hot and sweaty and gross at times, right?
Yes. Like you said, we do have that humidity, but it is relatively short-lived and nothing compared to the South Georgia oppressiveness where I grew up. Ooh. So the weather's great, pace is slow, but what about your actual retirement income? Virginia has some specific rules you need to know about. And this is a big one. Virginia is generally very friendly to retirees, but it's not a tax-free state like Florida or Texas.
Yeah, right. So Virginia does not tax Social Security income, which is fantastic, but they do tax pensions and withdrawals from retirement accounts like 401ks and IRAs, which is subject to normal state income tax.
However, there is an age deduction for residents who are 65 or older. You can deduct up to $12,000 from your taxable income, depending on your adjusted gross income. You absolutely need to talk to your CPA before you move, because how your income is structured will drastically affect your tax burden here in the Roanoke Valley in Virginia.
And speaking of how things are structured, the type of home that you buy here is going to look very different than what you might be used to. Not just the fact that we have basements and brick homes. We live in the Blue Ridge Mountains. That means flat land is a premium commodity. If you're coming from a master planned community in the Midwest or Florida where every lot is perfectly level, you really need to adjust your expectations.
A lot of our retirement buyers want a single level ranch home with a flat, walkable yard, and those exist, especially in areas like Salem or even certain parts of Cave Springs, but they are the most competitive homes on the market. The last 2 weeks, we've seen this happen, so you must be prepared.
Yeah.
Be prepared.
Many homes here are built into the side of a hill. They might have a flat driveway, but the backyard drops off completely. Or you have a beautiful view, but you have to walk upstairs to get to the front door. When we do our buyer consultations, we spend a lot of time talking about mobility and long-term livability, because a house with a great view isn't worth it if you can't safely navigate the driveway in like 10 years.
Oh, no.
You know, figuring out these trade-offs, the topography, the city versus county taxes, finding the right healthcare access, that's exactly what we do for our clients every single day.
If you're seriously considering making Roanoke your retirement destination, don't try to figure it all out from Zillow. Reach out to us. Call, text, or email us. We will set up a consultation, look at your specific timeline and budget, and help you build a plan that actually makes sense for you.
And all of our contact info is in the description below. Now, let's talk about the biggest assumption our out-of-state buyers get wrong about our housing market.
Because Roanoke is affordable compared to the national average, a lot of buyers assume our market is slow. They think they can fly into town for a weekend, look at 10 houses, lowball the asking price, and take their time deciding.
That is the fastest way to lose the house that you want.
Exactly. The demand for move-in-ready, single-level homes in good neighborhoods is incredibly high, largely because of other retirees just like you that are moving here. So if a well-priced, updated ranch hits the market in Cave Springs or Salem, it is often gone in a weekend. Sometimes with multiple offers. Again, we just saw this happen with 2 different houses in the past week.
Yeah, you cannot approach this market casually if you want the best properties. You have to have your financing and proof of funds ready. You have to know exactly which neighborhoods fit your criteria, and you have to be ready to act when the right house pops up.
That is the gosh honest truth there now. It's a fantastic place to retire, but you got to be prepared.
And if you want to see what these neighborhoods actually look like and what kind of house you can get for your money, we just did a full driving tour, a vlog of Cave Spring, which was so much fun. And it's one of the most popular areas for our relocating clients.
So be sure to check that one out, and we'll see you on the next video.